Welcome everyone. It's Kimberly Sherry, International Energy Healer, today on Facebook Live for Friday's Inspiration. I'm in my van today. We have very unusual things happening today. I don't know about you guys, but I have some really interesting things to share about soaring, going from soaring, from stuck to soaring is what we're going to be talking about today. And right now there is a massive transformation. Hey, Roma. And is that Gordon? Yeah, we have a massive transformation happening right now where technology and all the technocrats and all of that is taking a massive, major shift is happening. You know, they've corralled us into all onto the internet now. And it's a big net. It is a web. They call it a net and a web for a very good reason. So they've all corralled us into this internet where we're not socializing and connecting with real people anymore. We're all on this, in this big net. And so now this is where all the corruption is really there. All the bad guys are looking for opportunities. So I'm going to share a very vulnerable share today about what happened to me, and this is how I got stuck in this web. Now I'm sharing this because of several reasons. One, I have no shame about this. This can happen to anyone, and so I want to share what happened. And this is basically how I got scammed for $7,000. And these internet people are very good at psyops, I guess that's what they call it, psychological manipulation. And I would also say that there was like this spell that was put on me that I could not think. Anyway, so this is a very interesting thing that's happening because that we're in this. First, I just have to say that we're all in this energetic soup that's happening on the internet, where nobody trusts anybody anymore. We've been lied to about so many things. There's massive corruption and deception happening everywhere, and we feel this need to be protected. Like we feel like we're surrounded by all of these unknown ways that unknown ways where we could become susceptible to people who are out for no good. And so we're in this energetic soup. And so what basically happened to me was that I was working on my computer, and up popped a message that it was from Apple support, that there had been some kind of security breach and my computer had been compromised. And so I sort of ignored that, but then I got a call, and I never answer calls unless I'm expecting someone. And if they don't leave a message, then I promptly block those numbers. But I can't remember now if I was either expecting a call or for whatever reason felt like I should answer this call. So I answered the call, and they said, "This is Apple support." And is this Kimberly Sherry? And so of course I said yes. So I'm not giving them any information. They are telling me what's going on. And they said, there's been a security breach, blah, blah, blah. They started walking me through this protocol on how to protect my computer. And so they had me open up this and open up that, and then, type in something in the URL. And she walked me through and showed me how my firewall was not up. Now, whether or not they had been having these spy bots checking my computer to know that, or whether they turned it off, I have no idea. Either way, it doesn't matter. My firewall was down. And so they had me to turn it on. And so they immediately start with making you feel as though we're trying to help you, we're protecting you. So now you've come under you're starting to build trust with them. The whole time I think it's Apple support. They sent me an email to confirm what was going on. I checked, it was from Apple support. Apparently it looked official. Then she passed me on to a technician that would then further investigate to see if if there was any hacking. So the person had me type into the URL, a specific thing, and then up popped this report, which is downloading all of these IP addresses, the countries that it's from, blah, blah, blah. So it just keeps scrolling and scrolling and scrolling until finally it's done. And so there's like 79 hackers that have like got into my computer in the last 48 hours. So, they're providing visuals to confirm or make you believe this whole thing that's going on. And so now the only way that we're going to be able to clear this is I need you to go. So this is the guy technician on the phone telling me I need to go down to Apple Store, go to the Apple Store, and you need to get a specific card. And so I think that they also do some research to find out that I'm also in a very remote location. The Apple Store is not down the street. It's an hour and a half away. And so, and then he was also telling me that I could go to any store, not any store, but he told me a specific store to go to get an encrypted card, a card with a specific encrypted thing on it that will unlock whatever to help to clear these hackers. And so this is a process that went on. And he also let me know that I needed to stay on the phone because otherwise as long as we were connected to the servers, then the hackers couldn't get in. So it was all about the hackers. And he also said that, if it's longer than 10 minutes, then we'll lose the whole connection. At one point, he also had remote access to my computer because he was doing some things. I gave him access because I said Apple support. It all seemed very, very official. These people are pros at this. So at any rate, the long and the short of it was that I ended up spending 9 hours on the phone because I had to go to appointments, and the whole time we were connected on the phone, keeping my phone charged so that the hackers couldn't get in. And then he would say things like, were you on the phone last night or were you on your computer downloading anything at 1 o'clock? And I said, no, of course, I was asleep. And he says, well, it looks as though they've been using your identity and your IP address to go on the dark web and download child pornography. So now that there's a whole nother layer, right? So I go down to the store to get this encrypted card, which is a whole, and having to pay $500, which I totally lost it then. I said, I'm not spending any money, blah, blah, blah. He says, calm down, ma'am. He's always very calm. Calm down. There's no worries. You'll be reimbursed in 2 to 3 hours. It's not going to take a long time. And so we do all this, and then afterwards, did you get the email? No, I didn't because I'm not online. They know all this. They know you can't check your email. You're not on the internet. And so, so this is how the whole thing kept going on all day long. And that for 9 hours, $7,000 later. And I even went to, this is what was even crazy. I even went to the Apple Store. I went to go and drive down to the Apple Store because I said, this is crazy. If this guy's a scam, then he's not going to let me go to the Apple Store. I go to the Apple Store. I go down to the parking lot. There is a fire. There's a fire in the mall where the Apple Store is, so they wouldn't let me in. And so then, of course, he says, if I was a hacker, now could I have made that fire happen? So the whole thing was really partly my creation, obviously, because we attract what is going on in our energy field. So somehow something in me was being amplified that wanted to get cleared, right? And so this is how this stuff works. And so the whole time I kind of felt like I was an observer. I didn't feel like a victim in any of this. I was just in observation mode, like, wow, this is really happening. But it was very, very stressful because I believed that these hackers were trying to get in. And so every time we would use a card, he would clear more of the hackers. But then it got to a point after all the hackers were cleared, well, now we have to go in and clean out all the pornography. So the long and the short of it was, once my American Express card was maxed out, and they had been calling and so forth, eventually they could get no more money. Unfortunately, this did cost me $2,000 in cash. So that was an expensive lesson in all of this, which is why I want to share all of this with you, so you guys don't ever get stuck like I have had to go through. So the following day, so it ended with we would continue the following day because we didn't get all of the pornography, and he was going to get cards on his way to work. And I thought, a hacker's not going to do that, And even during the day, he was like, well, have you had a chance to eat anything? It's like, oh, he really cares. And then he even did this. He even he wanted to know what I did, and I wasn't about to engage him in any conversation. I said, well, just look at my website. You can go see. And so then he says, I knew your name was familiar. I have your book. And I thought, oh, right. Now you're really pulling my leg. He says, no, seriously. Somebody that I work with recommended your book because he said would help me stay calmer in my business. It's a very stressful business. And so I thought, wow, that was a very interesting hook that he put in there as well, So this whole thing was just really very interesting. So we were going to continue the following day. I wasn't supposed to. So now overnight, there was a certain protocol you're supposed to do. Don't turn on your phone. Turn off your phone. Turn off your computer. Don't talk to anyone. This could jeopardize all the work we've already done. And turn on your phone 5 minutes to 8, and I will call you. And so I turned everything down. I unplugged the modem, thinking, they can hear us through the phone, even though it's not on, I'm whispering and everything. So after I disconnected from him, then I could feel myself starting to think again. I could start to think a little more clearly. Hey, Jerry. And Nathan. So I could feel myself starting to think a little more clearly. And I thought, this has got to be a scam. This has got to be a scam. So I decided to call Apple support and find out something. And so there was a recorded message that said, that people are being scammed like this, whatever. And the recorded message said, call the police. So I thought, okay, I'm going to call the police. I called 911. I didn't have a number. They gave me the right number to call. I spent over an hour on the phone giving a police report. And so I had that for the American Express, which they were very nice the following day, saying it was obviously a scam, and so I wasn't responsible for any of that. I unfortunately did lose $2,000. It's a $2,000 lesson, so that's what that is. But so I do have to call the FTC today because that was American Express wanted me to call them, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. But nonetheless, this is very common. Apparently, maybe some of you, this has happened to you. I was telling someone else about this morning and found out that this had happened to my cousin. And she actually went to the Apple store and went to go get the cards, and they said there are no cards. And so at that point, she discovered that this must be some kind of a scam. So my lesson was apparently a little bit longer than that. But it was actually a relief for me to know that this was a scam, because I didn't have to go a whole nother day of all of this rigmarole and garbage and stuff. And then I could get back into my energy and have some humor about the whole thing, because I thought it was, when I was in it, it was not very fun, and it was not funny at all. So now I am back, and So I'm sharing this lesson with you because this is just one way that of so many ways that we are working through the dark energies on the planet right now. And yes, I am still laughing. I'm laughing about all this because I don't feel like a victim. I don't feel like a victim. I feel like this was a lesson. And if someone else, if I can prevent someone else from having to be scammed like this, then hallelujah. I mean, we've all heard 100 times, don't give any money to people. And, I have usually very good radar for this stuff. But it caught me off guard, and I was in this energetic soup working on the computer, and that I got stuck in the web, this web and internet. It's a net. So there's a lot of this kind of stuff going on right now, and as these darker energies are being more and more revealed, more and more of the ways that they are scamming people, this kind of stuff is going to happen. And so, the internet has, as a general rule, has a very low vibration, and it's less than 250. So it's not a high vibration. So my goal is, I am working towards, and I'm thinking, well, maybe this why Spirit wants me to create this van that, as you can see in the background, is still unfinished. I have the electrical, all the electrical is in, or at least most of it. I have a refrigerator now, and that fan is hooked up there. So building the bed this weekend and getting things squared away. So I'm thinking, I would love to get off of the internet. I would love to get off of Facebook and all of this stuff and start connecting with real people again, and going from town to town or from person to person, and just, having small group gatherings where, we raise our vibrations, and we do it here and there, and we have to get out of this net because it's got us all kind of in the soup, So today I wanted to do this energy clearing on, I'm curious if this has happened to any of you. Let's see if I have my glasses here. This has been a very odd morning. So I'm in my van today because I took my sister to dialysis, and so thus I am here. And so I have my funny glasses. These are green glasses, but they work. So that's all that matters, right? So we're going to see, they're awfully dirty, what your comments are. See if this has happened to any of you guys. Hey, Roma. Oops, sorry. Let me do this way. I feel you and glad to hear it unfolded. Okay, yes, it did. It did very well. And Jerry. Yes, I am laughing about it. Yep. Been dealing with that all week and at the present. Yeah, so apparently this is a wave of stuff that's kind of going around, and so there is ways energetically also that we that if this happens, we happen to have to go through this, that we don't feel like victims. Like, we're not victims. We are attracting exactly what we need for our lessons. So apparently I still had some pockets of, I didn't feel like a victim, but it was sort of that kind of energy, feeling taken advantage of. That's what it really was. And so anyway, that's what we're going to do a clearing on today. We're going to do a clearing on this dark web, feeling stuck in this web, and any victim energy, and so that we can go to this soaring energy. Because, any place that you're feeling stuck right now, in order for you to get to this higher place, there's a gap there. Hey, David. Oh, thank you. There's a gap from stuck to soaring. And so in this gap is where your growth period is going to be. That's where you're, like what I just went through, that was my gap. So now I know that I cleared all that I am taking it to a whole nother level of soaring. And so I'm excited about what that's going to look like, because, you know, whenever anything like this happens to me, and it's not like it happens a lot, but every once in a while, crazy shit like this happens, that I always see it as a reset. It's a reset in a whole nother level of energy. So I know my money will reset. My computer is being completely erased. And yes, thank you for saying so, Rosalind. A lot of people are feeling stuck. So my computer is getting a complete reset. They're putting it back to factory settings. My phone has done the same thing. And so, hey, Elaine, thanks for joining us. So big reset happening. And so if you're experiencing feeling stuck, we're going to work through some of these energies. You're going to have to go through and listen again. Basically, please listen. I tell how I got scammed for $7,000 and how they got me. So go back and listen if you're just tuning in, so that you can not let that happen to you. So there's a lot of psychic attack happening right now as well, and the energies, these reptilian energies that are using fear entities and these control beings, and a lot of psyop stuff going on. So a lot of these really powerful energies, and you might feel like, you know, how do we combat all of this? So I'm going to walk you through a meditation right now that's going to help us release these darker energies, the 1% energy, these reptilian energies. We're going to check and see if there's any control beings that you have in your space, fear entities, and raise your money vibrations too. It's always really important to clear the 1% out of your money vibration every single day. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll see what shows up, see what you're bringing today that's causing you to feel stuck. So let's go ahead first and put down a brand new grounding cord. Yes, feel like you're being compressed. They don't want me to succeed. It's exactly. They want everybody to fail. They want everybody to fail, and they're just trying to take humanity down in lots of different ways. So let's get grounded. Let's get grounded and put down that imaginary grounding cord from the base of our spine all the way to the center of the planet, so that we can start releasing all the ways that these energies climb into our energy field. And then we're going to send those energetic roots down from the bottoms of our feet, and it's going to go all the way in deep into our planet Earth, and it's going to wrap around the planet, and then from there it's going to start bringing that abundant feminine earth energy up through the legs, and then up through the thigh, and then it's going to go down that grounding cord. So we really need to feel strongly connected to our planet Earth. Okay, great. And then we're going to pull in our worry circle, which is extended out to the third layer. So this worry circle radiates around our root chakra. It holds all of the worry, stress, anxiety, doubts, fears, uncertainty that we hold in our energy field. So I want you to just pull that circle in and just drop all of that energy down the grounding. There we go. And then we're going to start bringing pure source down through your rings above your head. And we're going to start recalibrating all your dreams and desires. Okay, great. As we're bringing pure source down through the crown. So it's stopping right at the crown. The crown is where we give ourselves our personal permission. This is where we get the permission to have, be, and do with our life as we're choosing. So let's bring pure source down through those rings into our crown. So the permission circle, which is that circle of energy that radiates around the crown chakra, is extended all the way out to the 15th layer. So that's where the 1% hang out, right? So we're going to pull in that circle, and we're going to send the energy up so we can send that energy off planet. So you can start accessing more of your permission. And I'm also going to check and see if any of you guys are under a spell, because yesterday I was under a spell. I couldn't think clearly until I disconnected, and then it was like, oh, whew. So we're going to clear 3 spells today as well. Okay, so hang on just a second. We're going to bring pure source down through the central core. 7, 6. So it's stopping right here. Let's go out to that 3rd layer. And if you don't know what I'm doing and you're having a hard time following along, just sit in the energy of this, because I'm helping with the energies, helping to clear the energies. And you can just start to feel the difference in how you feel from the beginning to when I'm done. That's really all that matters, is how you feel. So in here is where they put beliefs and thoughts and thinking, so that we're not thinking for ourselves. We're not thinking our thoughts. We're thinking what they want us to think. Just like yesterday, I was under this cloud of thinking that I was getting help from Apple support, and it was completely not Apple support. Even though I checked, there was like this blanket that would not allow me to see. So at any rate, we're bringing pure source down through the central core. 7, 6, 5, 4. It's stopping at the heart. Out to that 3rd layer. I'm just going to pull in all those judgments, all the ways you make yourself wrong. Like, I could really, if I didn't know what I know and I didn't know how to clear these energies, I could really be beating myself up for what happened yesterday. Like, how could I be so stupid? I was thinking that as well, but I don't feel victimized. And so, like I said, if this can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. So, as we're bringing pure source down through the heart and the solar plexus, down that central core, it's stopping right at our solar plexus. So here's another thing, too, that I realized yesterday, is that, usually I talk about how fear is designed to stop us. It's designed to prevent us, and so it'll make us feel tired. It'll make us feel unmotivated. It'll make us feel depressed. It'll make us feel distracted. All the things that stop us. But fear will also make us obedient. And so that's what was happening yesterday. I was just obeying what the steps I needed to do to stop the hackers, because that's what the whole thing was about. Stopping hackers. And so that's what the energy that I was in this net in, and that's what got me. So in this solar plexus, all the way out to the 15th layer, we're going to pull in that 1% at the solar plexus, which is trying to control our power, whether it's being afraid or being obedient, just following along, wearing these things wherever you go, and the whole 6 feet thing, that's all being obedient to a complete scam. I'm not going to go there because I do want to stay on here until I'm ready to get off. But at any rate, do your research. There's plenty of research. If you know where to look, I can send you some links if you're still asleep to the scam we've all been under this spell. Okay, good. So as we're bringing pure source down through the solar plexus, down into the 2nd chakra, spilling down the root. There we go. Now we're going to mix earth energy coming up through the legs with that pure source coming down the backside. We're going to mix a 50-50 mixture. We're going to bring it up the front. Up through the 2nd and the 3rd and the heart. So it's stopping at the heart. All the way out to the 15th layer. This is that 1% energy. This is the energies that are on the planet that are trying to control humanity in all different ways. And a lot of this in the heart, this energy wants to disconnect us from the power of our heart, which helps us to self-generate love. They don't want us generating any love because that's kryptonite to them. They need these dark energies to sustain themselves. Fear, anger, grief, all of the chaos. They love all that stuff. That's what they feed on. So here in the heart, we're going to pull in all those ways we judge ourselves, make ourselves wrong, and we're going to pull it up through the central core, sending it off planet. So now as this 50-50 mixture is coming up through the solar plexus, up into the heart, where it's stopping again, all the way out to the 15th layer. This 1% is working very hard. And if you think they're going to lighten up, that's not going to happen. They are going to fight to the end. And people who have not woken up yet, you wonder, like we all wonder, what's it going to take to wake these people up? Apparently, more death. That's going to be a very big theme this year. A lot of death and dying, and a lot of love. You're going to see both of those polarities showing up. More love and also more darkness. Both of those polarities. So as we're bringing this 50-50 mixture up through the heart and the throat and the six and the crown and all the rings, it's going to cascade down through all the layers of the aura. Hey, Annie. Nice to see you here. Yes, I did hear the news about Marsha. So we're clearing the aura now, and we're going to pay special attention to the third layer, and especially around the heart. So there's a lot of energy around the heart in this third layer that also wants to hold down our ability to self-generate love, our ability to tap into that deep inner knowing in our hearts. They don't want us to know any of that stuff. They want to keep us in this sleepy state of amnesia where we don't really know what's going on. They don't want us to know what's going on. They want us to stay asleep and to obey and follow directions. So as more and more people are waking up, it will be too late for many who did not or didn't wake up in time. I mean, that's the unfortunate part. But some, that's just kind of the nature of this whole cycle that we're in. There is going to be a lot of death and dying, and the converse is also so. People are drawing closer together in spite of all the separation, all the ways that they're trying to separate us. People are still finding ways to create separation. People are becoming more aware of where the end of their aura ends, where 6 feet is. People know that if you're in their 6 feet space, which is basically about how far out your aura goes, actually more like an arm's length, but people are more aware of their sphere, like their aura, and people are more aware of their bodies. So people are waking up in interesting ways, but there still are a lot of people who are still asleep. So let's clear the 15th layer of our aura, where the 1% hang out. We're going to start at the bottom. As we lift this energy up and out through this layer, clearing this oppressive, compressive, they're compressing us down, depressing, that's where depression comes from, is that pressing down, pushing down of the anger. Okay, 15, 16. Okay, the rest of the aura is clear. So let's clear our circle of reciprocity. That's the energy that comes from the upper 4 chakras out that right arm. So we're going to just bring that energy, masculine giving, out that right arm. Bring it in the left arm, left hand. So, oops. Let's see if that will stay. Oh, good. Stay. So put your hands together like this so it can go out the right arm in the left and creating that circle of energy. And because it's stopping right at that left hand, so this is where you're not receiving And it's nobody's fault, and it's not that it's your fault, but you're responsible for your own receiving. And so when the receiving is blocked in this left arm, it's going to make it hard for that to happen. So we're going to bring that receiving up the left arm. There we go. Through the heart, through the throat, through the sixth chakra, crown, through all the rings. So that's the basic process of running your energy, which you should be doing every day, or at the very least, those 3 parts to getting ultra grounded, which is super simple. And that the 5-second rule, you can do it 3 times. As you put down your grounding cord, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you pull the energy up through the legs, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you pull in your worry circle, go out to the 30th layer, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you remember those 3 parts to getting ultra grounded, you can use that anywhere, anytime you feel anxious, anytime you start to feel a little ungrounded, you start to feel a little worried, you're jumping out in the future, wondering what's going to happen. So remembering those 3 parts will save you in so many ways and places. So let's see about spells. There's 3 spells, so let's clear those. The first one, yes, it is by the 1%. I can hear somebody asking that. So the first one is right here in the 6th chakra. So those are the thoughts that we keep thinking, that there's nothing we can do about what's going on. And so that's basically a lie. All we have to do is stop complying. We have to just stop acquiescing at any rate. So the spell is out to that 3rd layer in our 6th chakra. So that's that 3rd layer, all about our power. So these are the thoughts that we keep thinking, that we are powerless, which is a lie. We are more powerful than you can ever imagine, and they know this. They know that these few hundred families that are controlling the whole world, that these billions of people, if they just decided to say, no, we're not going to comply anymore, this is a bunch of bullshit, that this would all disappear. It's all just going to go away. And so we have this massive shift, though. It cannot happen like that, or it is not happening like that, because I think it would just be too hard on humanity. And there are still darker parts that haven't surfaced yet. And so, it's because people are not ready for the truth. Now, people can't even handle the fact that the vaccine is not a vaccine. So if they are going to listen to even darker secrets that are happening, people are not ready for these darker, deeper secrets, which is what all of this is trying to distract people from. So I'm not going to go to the darker secrets right now, because we're not doing that. We're not doing that today. Okay, so that was the first spell. Let's see the second one. In the heart, out to that 3rd layer. So this is where we keep thinking we're not doing enough, where we must be doing something wrong, that we have to work harder, and we're beating ourselves up, making ourselves wrong. And so that's this spell that's in our hearts, and causing us to forget that we can self-generate love. We don't have to go outside looking for love endlessly. It can be generated right here, where we can just adore ourselves and love and admire and respect ourselves. And then law of attraction, when we start attracting that energy and that multiplies in a partner, wow, it's just going to be so much even bigger, because it's going to amplify. So so that's the second spell. 3rd spell, in the root chakra, out to the 3rd layer. So all 3 of these related to your ability to step into the fullness of your power. So we're going to pull that energy in at the root from the 3rd layer. We're just going to, let's see, go down, It's saying go up. We're going to take this spell up and out through the central core, send it off planet. And so the more of us that are, I'm so grateful that all of you come back here every week to participate in a clearing. As you see, I will show up rain or shine, and one way or the other I will show up, and to raise these vibrations and let go of all these darker energies that are trying to keep us pulled down into the net, pulled down into this sticky dark web. And when we're raising our vibrations, we keep lifting ourselves up and out of this net where we have different thoughts, we have different thinking. We don't think, when you're up in these higher vibrations, you don't think like all the people that are stuck down in this dark web. You think differently, you have way more optimism and joy in your life, and things always work out. So even though this, I call it was just it wasn't even an expensive lesson. It was a costly lesson. But nobody got hurt. And here I can share it with all of you so that you can prevent this from happening to you. So let's see what else we have here so that we can soar. You can spend this weekend soaring and not down in this dark web. So a couple suggestions. Use the weekend to get out in nature and stop hiding, stop sequestering yourself in these little boxes and thinking that we have to hide. You need to get out in nature. Nature is always in complete present time, never worried about the future, and never worried about if they have enough. Do I have enough leaves? I don't know, they don't worry about any of that stuff. The nature is completely present in a high vibration always. So get out in nature, go hug a tree. That would be awesome. Listen to some uplifting music. That's one of the fastest ways to lift you up and out of these energies. But some of this stuff is good, and it's helpful, and it will get us up and out, but it can be a little more temporary if you don't know how to manage these energies in the interim. We can't always be hugging a tree, right? However, if you know these energetic tools on how to stay grounded and how to run your energy, then hallelujah. If you haven't gotten my book, I suggest you go online and get that book. I still have a few more copies of the Fear to Freedom, which is where my story is outlined in one of the chapters on how to re-own your power. And then also my other book, Access Your Ultimate Power, The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence. If you haven't gotten it, you can send $5 in the US, which will cover just the shipping of 2 books and envelope. And I will send that to you with a little note. I just have a few left. But otherwise, you can go on Amazon and get my book, which outlines my whole process on how to do this energy work, how to stay in this high vibration. And so you can go off and enjoy a beautiful weekend. We have beautiful weather here in Northern California. And I think the rest of you are thawing out. This is not to negate anything that happened in Texas. And I think, Rosalind, aren't you in Texas? But I remember seeing a video of a woman who was relaying how horrible it was. They had, for 5 days, no water, no food, no electricity. It was freezing. And it's kind of like, well, how much worse could it get? Unless somebody broke into your home and raped you. I mean, there's like total horrible things. And it didn't have power for 3 days. Yeah. This one particular woman, though, I thought, wow, that's really extreme, And so it's like we're going to attract our lessons, but at the same time, it's going to be to the degree of the energies that we're holding. So I realized that this woman had massive amounts of victim energy. She had like 100% victim energy. So she felt completely victimized in this process. So instead of being down in these lower vibrations, we want to keep elevating, elevating, elevating. Let's check and see how much anger any of you have. 15%. So let's find where that is, because we don't want to give these beasts anything to feed on. It's down in the root, out to that third layer. We're going to just pull in that worry circle and drop all those worries and anything that makes us angry down the grounding cord. Spring is about to spring here. And, okay, so now anger's at 0. Let's check fear. Also at 15%. Also in the root. Let's go out to that third layer and clear some of that fear, or all the rest of that fear there. You can just drop that down your grounding. Awesome. All right. So if you enjoy doing this process, maybe you come here now and then, now and again, we're going to be starting our next round of daily MediClearings. It's about 20-30 minutes a day. Every day we're going to be doing it for 21 days, so except Sunday. We're going to be starting March 4th, because we're going to be marching forth. We're marching forward. And we're going to spend 2 weeks clearing, planting, getting ready for the spring equinox, where we're going to launch our rockets of desire. So hopefully you'll be joining us for that. It's going to be very good, very powerful. I can feel myself getting ready for that as well. So keep an eye out for that link. Not quite ready, but it's not far away, is it? So hopefully you'll be joining us for that. And let me see if you guys have any other questions. Yes, getting out in nature for sure. I don't think there's any other questions. Yeah, I think I got all the other ones. Wow, good. So thank you everyone for joining us today. And go out and enjoy your weekend. I will be back on Tuesday to answer specific questions. If you have a specific issue, you have something that you want me to look at and give you a brief energy clearing, we do that on Tuesdays. So every Tuesday at noon Pacific time. So I'll be back on Tuesday. But in the meantime, if you didn't hear what happened you might want to go back and listen to this once it gets posted. And we'll see you on Tuesday. And other than that, enjoy your weekend and have a blessed weekend. And keep asking my favorite question. I wonder, how does it get any better than this? I've done this huge reset, so I can't wait to see what gets better now. All right, sending much love. Namaste.